Everyone ready? Thank you for being here today. I'm joined by Assistant Commissioner Carmenia, and we're here today to talk about the latest development in our knife laws in South Australia. Earlier this year, we passed legislation that were the toughest of knife laws anywhere across the country. These laws are designed to keep South Australians safer. One element of those knife laws was the ability of the Police Commissioner to declare certain areas declared precincts, and that will give police significantly more powers to keep people safe in these areas. It will allow metal detection wand searches whenever the officers think it's appropriate, and will allow police to ban people for up to 24 hours from these sort of precincts. The power is for things like shopping centres, for places of worship, for transport hubs, and today the police have gazetted the first shopping centres to be declared precincts under our knife laws. This fits in with other changes we've made, like banning the sale of dangerous knives to minors, making swords and machetes prohibited weapons, and coming in next year, the secure storage of dangerous knives in retail precincts. It also adds to legislative changes we've made to make retail settings safer. We've prescribed retail workers as designated workers, so if they're assaulted, it is an aggravated offence. And we're also in the final stages of consultation in relation to workplace barring orders that we intend to introduce this year to make sure that people who are being disruptive or being unsafe in retail spaces can be banned from those spaces. So I'll hand over to the Assistant Commissioner to talk about those first shopping precincts that will be declared precincts under these knife laws.
Thank you. From noon today, there will be 8 metropolitan shopping centres that will be declared shopping precincts. This gives police additional powers to help keep the community safe in areas that lots of people frequent. It will enable the police in the first instance to use a metal detector wand to search people in those shopping centre areas for the presence of weapons. It also enables police to move people on who pose a risk to public safety or good order, and to direct those people not to return within 24 hours. So the 8 shopping centres that have been declared that go live at noon today include Marion Shopping Centre, Elizabeth City Centre, Arndale Shopping Centre, Burnside Village, Hollywood Plaza, Parabanks, Munno, West Lakes Shopping Centre. There will be maps provided of the exact nature of the shopping centre precincts available on the South Australian Police website, so people can go to that and have a look. Police are very pleased with these new laws because it enables police to have further tools in their toolkit to help keep the public safe while they're frequenting these areas. It's not new to the South Australian community to have metal detector searches by police. So we've had declared public precincts since 2017 in various areas across the state from time to time, including the Adelaide CBD, Glenelg and the Port Augusta foreshore. For example, in the last 3 months, there's been over 1,500 metal detector searches of people in the Adelaide CBD, and from that we've located and seized, taken away from these people, multiple weapons, which has helped to keep the community safer in these areas where lots of people frequent. Thanks.
It's difficult to police those people who you ask to leave and then who re-enter. Does that create more pressure among the force?
So luckily in these big shopping centres there's lots of CCTV. Police have excellent relationships with centre management, lots of whom have been consulted in relation to the declaration of these shopping centres, and we work well with shopping centre security, so no, it's not too difficult.
And I guess just broadly, this was required to kind of, is there an escalating instance of knives coming into these shopping centres, people feeling unsafe, or is it, just a response to Bondi broadly?
It's a bit of everything. South Australia Police were certainly very happy when the government brought in these laws, and because it does give police additional powers, because it should send a deterrent message to people that knives are not welcome in our shopping centres. We want the community to be safe, and police will be there and will be able to detect if you have knives or any other weapons on you in these places.
Have you seen a rise in knife crime in recent months and years?
So I've reviewed the information which has led to these declarations, and there has been, in all of the areas that have been declared, there is very good reason to declare these shopping centres, and there'll be further shopping centres coming, declarations. And yes, there have been incidences where there have been either threats with edged weapons, or they've been found, and so forth. So yes, it's definitely necessary.
What will these one detector searches actually look like? Will there be checkpoints set up in shopping centres, or officers just be sort of patrolling around, just warning people?
Yeah, an important part of the legislation was to make sure that the police carry out these searches in a way that doesn't inconvenience the public or embarrass anyone. So they'll be quite discreet in how they go about doing this. But we do want people to know that police have these powers so that people don't bring edged weapons or other weapons into shopping centres.
Can you talk us through the thinking of using these wands as opposed to officers searching people?
Yeah, so the legislation actually says in the first instance we are to use the metal detector wands, which is a really good way of police undertaking these searches, and it's obviously safer for our police officers to be doing that rather than using their hands to search people. But certainly if the metal detector detects that there is an article that that is made of metal that could be of concern, that we then give directions to these people. So if a person is given a direction by police and fails to comply with that direction, that's also an offence.
This might be one for the attorney, I'm not sure, but you said there was plans to expand this out to other shopping centres. Why not do it all now?
Yeah, so these laws have been available since March this year, and it's based on intelligence that is received by the Commissioner's delegate to work out which shopping centres we want to have this for. These are the first 8 that we've done, but there will be more certainly that's coming.
Are you proud that South Australia has the toughest laws of the country?
South Australia Police very much welcome these laws. Any tool that police can have in their toolkit to help keep the community safe is always welcomed.
Have there been any specific instances in any of these 8 centres that have helped with the decision of bringing those laws in?
Yes, there's been a number. I'm sure the public will remember the June 2024 incident in the Marion shopping centre, where the shopping centre was put into lockdown by the centre management or security, and there was a weapon involved in that affray, and that gave great concern to the community. There have been other instances that have led to the declarations of these areas, these particular shops.
And not everyone is subject to a search, it's just...
No, not everyone.
Just on another matter, I've just got a text while we were sitting here. We've noticed that there's been posters recruiting people into Nazi groups. Have you noticed that there is an active rise in recruitment, and is that something that broadly the force is addressing?
So certainly SAPOL views this sort of intimidatory behaviour that often comes about with these people is of significant concern to us, and yes, we have police working on that to help keep the community safe.
Is there a rise?
I can't actually answer that at this point, sorry.
Are you seeing more of that paraphernalia, that ideology around online in the community?
Yeah, I can't answer that either, I'm sorry.
And how are you responding to these recruitment drives?
I'm sorry, I don't have that information either at this point in time.
But you're just aware of it, and...
Yes, police are aware of that, absolutely, but at the moment I'm not aware of any further detail that I'm able to share with you.
Can I ask a question to the Minister, if that's okay? Just on plain farming, the legislation that recently passed Parliament, why are these laws needed?
Yeah, so legislation's now passed Parliament, passed last week, and will come into operation hopefully later this year, to stop the practice of people benefiting, getting kickbacks, getting compensated for passing on details of people who may have a civil claim. We have seen this in New South Wales in particular, where there's an alleged, I think it's $1.3 billion syndicate of making false claims under the National Redress Scheme. And we've seen in other jurisdictions, particularly with the National Redress Scheme for those people who've been sexually abused in institutions, this sort of behaviour happening. And one of the reasons that we want to stamp it out is that it means that there are victim survivors who are being contacted without their permission, who don't necessarily want to be involved or make a claim, who are being re-traumatised because of these essentially cold calls or unsolicited, unwanted advances. So, yeah, we're not stopping in any way, shape or form anyone who's suffered an injury, been a victim of childhood sexual abuse from making claims. What we are stopping is those people who seek to profit from their trauma, receiving kickbacks and encouraging people to make claims when they may not wish to.
And how prevalent is it here in South Australia?
We haven't seen a lot of it in South Australia. It is now banned in New South Wales and Queensland, and we want to make sure those unscrupulous operators who've been operating interstate don't come into South Australia. So that's why we've passed these laws.
And can I just get your response to this, the Nazi groups recruiting people? Have you seen a rise in that kind of ideology and that paraphernalia?
Look, certainly we are seeing it being reported. And I want to make it very, very clear. I don't think there's any place in South Australia for these types of attitudes. Yeah, we are a very, very proud multicultural society. We have benefited as a community greatly from people from all around the world who now call South Australia home. We welcome that. It enriches us all. Those people who push this sort of ideology, I don't think have any place in public discourse. You see people in marches pushing these sorts of extreme ideas with hoods on and covering their faces. They're cowards and know that this isn't acceptable today.
So you say that it's being reported. Are you noticing a rise in reports?
I think everyone sees reports in the media, on social media of this, and I think the vast, vast majority of South Australians will be disgusted.
And are you concerned as a government?
We don't like to see anything that tears at the fabric of cohesion in our community. And as I've said, we're a very, very proud multicultural society in South Australia. It has worked really, really well, and all of us are better for the influences we've had from all around the world, and we want to see that continue.
Is it difficult to legislate against this group, because we saw a lot of them arrested on Anzac Day, and they've been through the courts and some of those charges haven't stuck to them?
We will do what we can. We introduced new laws to criminalise Nazi symbols in South Australia, so that is a criminal offence. And if there are gaps or there are further things we can do to keep that social cohesion in South Australia, we'll absolutely look at that.
That you admit that currently it's not working?
We introduced laws to ban Nazi symbols. These are new laws. Of course, they will go through the courts. Laws will be tested. But if there's anything further that we can do in a legislative sense, as a government and through Parliament, we will certainly look at that.
Thanks, everyone.
Excellent.
Thanks, thank you.
Oh, it's the